I'm Winnie McKenna from Mutiguru Secondary Form 4.
Let's appreciate Winnie.
I'm Nancy Gatwiri from Kiganguru Girls.
Kiganguru Girls, Nancy Gatwiri. Tumpige makofi. Kama shule yako itakuwa mic usinyamaze. D. D starehe boys ama ni starehe tu? Starehe tu hivyo. Okay.
I am Keith Kazungu from the Starehe Boys Center and I'm a fourth former.
Fourth form. Where's the middle of fourth form? When the middle of fourth form? Let's appreciate Starehe. Let's appreciate Starehe Boys Center. Aha. Chukua mic bwana.
I'm Rowan Mutugi at St. Augustine Rogota.
Come again?
Rowan Mutugi schooling at St. Augustine Rogota.
St. Augustine Rogota. Which one are you?
Form 4.
Ah, that's great. Let's appreciate St. Augustine Rogota.
I go by the name Victor. I'm from Chogoria School, Form 3.
Chogoria School, Form 3. Victor. Tumpigeni makofi. Nani aja? Okay, let's proceed.
Shem Ngogi, Goroki High School.
Which school?
Goroki High School.
Shem
Ngogi.
Shem Ngogi, Goroki High School. Tumpigeni makofi. Shule gani hajatajwa? Kama shule yako utapata mic. Nani unapata? Bado, okay.
Regina Patrick from Gaita Girls Form 3.
Gaita Girls Form 3. Regina Patrick. Let's appreciate Regina.
I go by the name of Mutembei Betty, Iku Girls High School.
Mutembei Betty, Iku Girls High School. Let's appreciate Mutembei Betty. Kama shule yako utapata hapo.
Rehema Mwende, Gembambo High School.
Gembambo High School, Rehema Mwende. Let's appreciate Rehema. And then of course we have our guests and people who have been engaging with from day one up to day. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have what we call engaging children on budget for sustainable future. The children's debate. Ladies and gentlemen, na wanafunzi wote, mko tayari? Kama uko tayari, clap once. Kama uko tayari, clap once. Clap twice. Polite. So our topic today is, should Kenya prioritize investments in education over infrastructure in its public finance management? We can discuss that, right? So that will be our area of conversation. And this session will be moderated by Nisisi Nisasa and News. What are Nisisi Nisasa? Nisisi Nisasa? All students are part of Nisisi Nisasa. Sindio? Mtoto News? All students are part of Mtoto News. Sindio? So ladies and gentlemen, and wanafunzi ambao wako hapa. Hata mimi last year nilikuwa mwanafunzi. Ama sikai, mimi mzee. Nilikuwa mwanafunzi. Nilikuwa stari. Mliona? Hamkuona? Mimi nilikuwa nacheza chini. Ni principal kwa anijua. Thank you so much. Let me give it back to my brother. Let's appreciate Atuo. He'll be moderating this session from Mtoto News side. Thank you, brother. Take over 1 hour. Yuko sawa? Asante.
Habari zenu? Good morning, everyone. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know, clap your hands. Guys, let's clap with energy. Tumekunywa breakfast. How many have not had breakfast? Yes, I'm reporting back to Nisisi Nisasa. Naambia watoto wakunywe breakfast. Ndio? Alafu after this session, immediately after session, we are going to have our breakfast. Sawa? Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation, and thank you so much for even informing the country and the people at the PDF that children's voices are important. Sindio? Children's voices are? Yes, I know you guys are students, and today you'll allow me to call you children. Allow me. Sawa sawa? Nimekubalika? The constitution inasema between anyone under the age of 18 is a child. Yes, so you guys will allow me to call you children today, and we'd love to hear children's voices in this budgeting process. Budgeting? Yeah, we've had a lot of budgeting. We've had a lot of things happening. Last year we had about, and many other years we've had about finance bills, Indio. And some things happened after the finance bill last year, Indio. And people were not happy. Tuliona nani walienda kwa streets? Nani walienda kwa streets? Nyini Gen Z. So that happened, and people went to the street, and they were talking about this finance bill heaving in a car. And we saw a lot of young people talking about that because they have an understanding. Sawa, I work for an organization called Mtoto News, and at Mtoto News, we do one thing. We make children visible. We make children visible in different ways. Tuna make children visible by one of the ways is making sure that their voices are heard. Sauti zao zinasikika. Your voices are heard in issues that affect you guys. The budgeting process, do you think it affects you guys? Do you think the budgeting process affects you as children? So as Mtoto News, and in collaboration for this particular event and session, we are working with BTG, or Budget Talk Global, and the entire PDF, and also being part of this and ensuring that watoto tunasikia sauti zao. And what are they saying about this whole budgeting process? It could be in education, their schools, different ways they are being affected. Maybe tulisikia mambo ya capitation. Unajua capitation? Unajua capitation? Anyone? Capitation? Kuna pesa fulani ambayo serikali inalipia kila mwanafunzi kwa mwaka to be in school. Tulisikia ilireduciwa kidogo, si ndio? Hiyo ina affect different things. Maybe chakula mlikuwa mnakula hivi, saizi imeenda chini kwa sababu capitation imereduce, si ndio? And maybe you guys used to have vitabu vizuri, now mnaambiwa you guys are sharing books 6 people, si ndio? So things like that, they come all the way from the budget. And now tulikaa chini tukajiambia, tumesikiza watu wote wanaongea. Tumesikiza serikali, tumesikiza stakeholders, we have CSOs here. CSOs ni civil society organizations, wenye ni stakeholders important kwa hii conversation. Lakini sisi tukakaa tukajiambia, one of the most important stakeholders, especially in something like education, wenye wana spend mingi sana wakiwa shule. Kwa mwaka mzima you spend a lot of time in school with teachers more than you spend with your parents. Ni kweli? Yes. So kwa nini to have a conversation and we are not having one of the most important stakeholders talking about it? Sawa. So we have the budgeting process, and in Kenya, like different other countries, budgeting ni important. Inakuwa kwa kitu inaitwa public finance management, and ni vizuri tunasema it is vital for nurturing watoto wakijua mambo kama ya public finance and the budgeting process. It is important sababu inawasaidia mkuwe informed. Mnafikiria watu wangeenda kuongelelea finance bill kama wako informed? Hawangeweza, si ndio? But because they knew hii inakaa hivi na hii kikuja itatuaffect hivi kama young people, kama the country at large, and even with our neighboring countries, si ndio? So wakasema kwa sababu niko informed, acha niende niongelelee maneno. So the same thing for us. We want you as children to also be informed and to also be responsible citizens. Sawa? Being responsible citizens in the near future. Na hata saa hizi because tunaambiwa children are the leaders of tomorrow. Ni kweli? Ni kweli? Ni kweli ama ni uongo? But pia you guys are leaders of now. Si ndio? Tuko na student councils. We have student councils in our schools, si ndio? And we run them, I believe we run them in a very effective manner. And we are capable of doing this as students. So one of the things we are looking is to ensure that we also promote financial literacy. Like you are able to understand. When my parents pay my school fees, for example, this is how it is supposed to help me. When I go to buy that bread or kangumu or something in the canteen, there's a bit of money that inaenda kwa taxes, ndio? And this money is supposed to help me. The infrastructure of the school is supposed to help the roads around, it's supposed to help the healthcare and different sectors in our country, ndio? So what we want to do is you guys are able to talk about these issues. You are able to understand this is what the budgeting process is, and this is where it comes from. In our institution, we have Article 201, which talks about the principles of public finance. Inaongelelea transparency, accountability, inaongelelea mambo ya ensuring equitable allocation of resources. Tusiseme ati mseko wanapatiwa shilingi 2 and then tarehe wanapatiwa Sumni, and then another school from Tarakanidhi wanapatiwa box, ndio? We want equitable allocation of resources because it affects us. The same chemistry you are learning is the same chemistry another child in another school is learning, ndio? So we want to ensure that all this is done in a way that sisi wote, there's equity in this. We also have the Public Finance Management Act ya 2012. Inaongelea mambo yote ya public finance. Na serikali inafanya handle aje mambo ya public finance. Pia kuna mambo mengine yenye sisi country in the international space. Tunasema sisi kama Kenya tunatambua we are part of UN. Na part of UN we are agreeing to a document called the UNCRC, the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. Na inapatiana vitu kadhaa about venye mtoto anafaa kutritiwa. Na one of the things yenye sisi kama mtoto news especially tunasema sana is child participation. Sasa child participation, ensuring that tunasikia sauti zenyu in these matters that affect you. So we have the budget process, ni process ingine inakaa kwanza tunakaa chini tunasema we are formulating this budget for the year, for example. Let me just ask, financial year yenye tuko saizi ilianza financial year yenye tuko saizi. Anyone? Any of the students? Yes.
The 1st July 2024.
Kuna mtu mwingine anasikia opinion nyingine hapa.
1st June of 2024.
1st June of 2024. Another financial year yenye tuko ilianza siku gani? Anyone from this side? Anyone from this side? Oh, there's one here. Asha atanisaidia na mic.
First June of 2024.
First July 2024.
The implementation period started on 1st July of 2024.
Unaona sisi wote tuko na, hiyo inamaanisha nini? Sisi wote we need our capacity to be built on public finance, ndio? Sisi wote adults and children. Mtoto wewe kama mtoto haujui, si ndio? At any one point tunahitaji kusensitiziwa on matters of finance. Na si kwa years peke yake. We also need to know how does it affect us as children. Sasa sisi kama watoto, how does it affect us? And they wanted to hear from you guys. And I know the teachers, we had a brief with your teachers yesterday on how, on basically what we're going to be doing today. And how the impact of the engagement that we are having today. And so I want to ask you guys to cooperate with us and to be with us. And we'd love to hear from you guys. What are some of the bad issues that you think the government is supposed to be looking at that is affecting you as a child directly and indirectly? What are some of the issues that the government, even if you have to form the next budget, you as a child, we'd love to hear your voice. What do you think is important for a child, as a child, included, knowing that as you're seated here, you are representing children from across the. That is a privilege. You're representing children from across the country, and whatever you say here might trickle down to different other children across the country, si ndio? Unaweza kwenda whatever you're doing here ikuje shule yako, si ndio? An individual school to come to your school to be asked, what do you think of ABCD? Sio peke yake. It can be something to do with health. It can be something to do. There is some conversation about CBC. I don't know none of us is taking CBC. Am I right? CBC? Yes. But it will be important even for us to ask children, what do you think of the system? Sitaki kubuka capacity yao waweze kuelewa CBC ni nini, alafu tuwaulize mnaona aje history ya CBC, si ndio? It will be really important. Before I continue, anyone wants to say something? Any of the students? So, student yote ana kitu ya kusema about what we talked about the budgeting and also something about public finance. Your understanding of it before tuendelee. Naona kuna mkono ina each hapa. Anyone? Yes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Samson Adiwa from Msedo Beijing High School. Now, in concern of the issues of public finance, PFM, budgeting programs, I think one day, when I went to the hospital. What made me really give me just like I was so scared. There was lack of enough medicines in the hospital. The government has not raised these issues. It should come with like raise some of the amount of money on how to manufacture our drugs. The government should export some of the materials from other countries, maybe to just build an industry, create some of the money to build an industry on how to manufacture of these drugs, because Kenya is one of the third world countries in Africa, so we need to come up with our own industry on how to manufacture medicines. If it is possible, you can export all these materials. The government should do that to ensure that all the hospitals in this country have adequate medicines. Number two, issues concerning like electrical systems. Like I got some of the news at Kisumu. There were these issues was brought about by lack of electricity across the globe. I mean, across that country. The government should come up with a system, maybe building some of the electrical projects, issuing all these, maybe constructing dams in those areas on how to generate hydroelectrical power on those areas. Number three, building of roads. Some of the roads are wireless. The government should just come up with a system, create some of the money on how to, construct all these roads. Some of the roads are really unwieldy, so transport of goods and services or people across these roads becomes very difficult. So this one is a very important issue that the government should take action over. Maybe if I may conclude, the government should also offer some of the schools, maybe for example a school where I'm studying at Msedo, like some of the programs like lack of enough materials in the laboratory. The government should come up with a certain amount of money or raise certain amount of money on how to issue all the schools, not only our schools but also all the schools across the globe, to ensure that there is sufficient and pure learning on those areas. We should be offered with materials
Thank you so much. Remind us your name. Remind us your name.
My name is Samson Oduor from Sedo, Beijing.
Samson Odor from Sedo. Any other student? Any other students that want to say something with regard to public finance? Yes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is David Kuti. I'm from this Boys Center and School. I'd like to speak about a controversial topic. This is about basically oscillating about the topic of equity and how opportunities are spread out all over the country for every single child. I put it in this perspective. You all know, you all agree with me, you all know that it's fact. It's a matter of true or true, there's no true or false. So it's very true that people outside there, basically children, some of them lack education, and some of us have education. Basically, you can find that, putting it in terms of percentage, that 70% of students, the majority are in school, while 30% are not. So where am I coming to? This basically means that the government, in my opinion, should focus on budgeting for these education services. How are they going to do this? We budget for infrastructure, we forget education. Now, this is what we're going to do. We bring education, we add money to education, reduce the money in infrastructure. What's the point of having infrastructure and we don't have education? What's the point of having a not educated person in an office which is fully developed and the person does not have content, does not have knowledge about it? Now, this means that we just bring money and give poor quality of education. Well, giving money is one thing, quality of education is another thing. Now, what I'm supporting is we bring money into education money rather than taking it into infrastructure, and after doing that, we increase the quality. You agree with me, right? By increasing the quality, what are we going to do about this? We're going to have more educated people. What is this going to bring? We're going to raise our standards. We will have educated people, now we raise those infrastructures. After raising those infrastructures, we will now become the utopia that people think Kenya is, right? So basically, we should focus more on bringing the funds into important things like education, not to important things like infrastructure, which will not help actually. There's no need for having a person who's not indicated in an office which is fully developed. That is my point. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Name is David Moti.
David Miti from this nilisikia emphasize on this Tarehe Boys School and Boys Center School. Thank you so much, David, for that. Any other student before we go to our next subsection? Any other student? And thank you so much to everyone that is joining us now. We are having a conversation with children, getting children's voices on the budgeting process for a sustainable future. We want to hear children's voices. What are they saying with regards to the budgeting process? Sauti zao important sana. Their voices are very important. And different documents, legal documents, and frameworks are telling us that child participation is important. Children need to participate on issues that affect them. And all the things we do now, our session is a bit unique. We're not just having conversation like this. We want to hear from the students even more. We have about 30 minutes now. We have around 30 minutes now, and we want to do something unique. We want to go into groups. We want to go into groups, and the students are going to they can join the groups because later on we'll be hearing what they'll be getting from the groups. They can join the groups just to listen and keep that kind of direction on the topics they'll be discussing. So what we want to do is that we go to the different groups, and then be talking about or discussing amongst themselves what are the important budgeting issues that they think the government should put in place. And we have the CEOs, we have the civil society, we have different other organizations, the NGOs, and different other people who are in this particular session and who are being listened in to this conversation as it's ongoing through the media. So before we go to groups, we have someone who wants to say something.
Thank you. I'm Vincent Kitao from the Starre Boys Center, and I would just like to give a personal opinion. So far, so good. We have been having talks like this about budgeting, finance, since we got our independence, and so far we have been giving solutions at platforms like this. And implementation, that's where we are poor at. There's no lie to that. And here comes a shocking fact. Back when we got our independence, we were at the same stage with countries like Singapore, Malaysia, such countries. We were all at the same level. Actually, they used to get loans from us. Kenya, a country like Kenya, we used to offer loans to such countries. And so far, if we compare ourselves to them, we are way far behind. And that is because, partially, what I've realized is because we have centered so much on places like Nairobi, Nakuru, Naivasha, such places. We have a centralized kind of development such that other areas never get really developed. I mean, like, when will you ever hear of a great town in Turkana? When will you ever hear of a great town down in a place where it's not known? We have centered all our development into just the surrounding places. The capital. That's what I actually think is one of the main issues, because when we have a decentralized kind of development, we tap into those places which have economic gain rather that they're never tapped into because people think they're not worth it. Every place is worth it. Take a China, for example. China is very great and has very great economics. Why? Because they have cities all around the country. The country is bigger than Kenya, with their cities even having 83 million people living in one city. Just one city, not even the main city. But that is because each and every single place, you will always find a greater city and a place where development has been vast. If we decentralize our development, we are going to go far. But so far, so good. Whenever there needs to be a new road to be built, wow, expressway, Nairobi. Whenever there needs to be a new building to be built, why go far? There's Nairobi. We always think of the center places. So far, so good. I think it's time we move to other places. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love their giving their feedback. The first say this is a controversial opinion. I love that. And remind us your name, please.
Vincent Gitao.
Yeah, Vincent Gitao. He said, this is my personal opinion. And then he went out and talked about what most of us are actually thinking about how this country should be. We've been having these conversations since independence. He mentioned some countries that we were. Are we currently at these countries? Thank you so much. And I'm being told the students from Tarakaniti tupatane hapo nyuma ya tent kidogo, and then we will come. Students from Tarakaniti County. Thank you so much. So, like I mentioned, we want to go into groups and we want to discuss something very important for the next about 5 minutes, and then presentation, and then our session will be over. But we really want to hear from you guys. What do you think about the budgeting process for sustainable future? This is how we're going to take. Tarakaniti students, you can go and the tent hapo tu nyuma ya tent kidogo. Ile tunasikianga mtu anasema nione nyuma ya tent, and good things are happening nyuma ya tent. Sindio? Good things are happening nyuma ya tent. So acha tuone what good things they are going to tell us from nyuma ya tent. So in the the remaining students, I want us to be in 3 groups. That's in 3. If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap twice. If you can hear me, clap once. I want to teach you something. I know you've heard it before, maybe. Include clap. Include clap. Do you know how to clap? If you can hear me, clap once. You do what? You clap. That's all. If you can hear me, clap once. You do what? There's how people clap. How do they clap? They clap like this. So if you can hear me clap once, you clap. If you can hear me clap once, you clap twice. If you can hear me clap once, if you can hear me clap twice, if you can see, if I say if you can hear me clap once, if you can hear me clap once, if you can hear me clap twice, if you can hear me clap once, kuna pali nimesikia. If you can hear me clap once, if you can hear me clap twice, if you can hear me clap once. Anyway, this is what we're going to do. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sasa. And you go to the group that you have selected. 1, 2, 3. 1, TG and mtoto mmoja is to work with the children. When in the process for the future. And in the in the 26. Yes, so in and the current application, you can get assist in writing that and some to help you application of the same. We have TG, and also they can some of these issues. Thank you.
Just basically everything.
Sometimes unapata shule iko na watoto 2000 pesa wanapokea ni watu 500. Unaona kisa.
Hello, hello, hello.
It is poor resource allocation. That one thing we'll work on it. There's no way
what you need so that unakupea kenye unafaa kuwa nacho, what you need. Wow, excellent.
Years from now. We never said anything. It's not to export the intelligence the process of exporting the need is maybe what I see the scholars.
Unapata kwa nyumba kuna stima. Are sufficient within the country. Number two, in concern of transport, maybe our roads, the rural places should be built to ensure that it is easy, people moving from one place to another, so that this one can entail about
for example, like now the government
maybe develop
using the budget to help the educational institutions because of delayed disbursement. Those funds create more problems. Like for now, we have a loan of 12 billion to secondary schools because of this delayed disbursement.
Aidha, niko na swali. How come the government
whereby wanadelay kurelease vitu na au wanataka yaifanyike haraka, whereby sisi ndo tunaumia kuliko ao. Saa hapo wanafaa kucheck on that, kwa sababu utapata kama sio yenye tunalipwa school fees, tunafukuzwa shule juu tunafaa kulipwa school fees na mwalimu yeye hataki kujua hivyo, yeye anataka pesa ili.
You can't tell me that the same engineer who tried to build,
some of those who are not registered on the social health authority, they are complaining that some of the hospitals are not providing them with the services because they are not registered on the SHA. Yeah, that's my concern.
Okay, thank you. Who else? Hi. Do you have anything you want to talk about?
My name is Jerry, and I'm not a student. I work at the CDPF, which is the Commonwealth Disabled People's Forum, and I just want you guys to. I just want to tell you guys to be advocates of your own future, because you know that sustainability is the idea of improving the current needs of the current generation without compromising the future needs of the next generation to come, and you are the next generation who is coming on. And so when these budgets are being drafted and implemented without you being on board, you are not on the table, you are on the menu, because when you are not on the table, they'll eat you up, and you won't be having any future. So you have to be your own advocates, and you have to be well informed. You have to make a choice, and when you are picked and asked what do you want, you have to be informed and say that you want this and this. Not just make noise, and if you are picked up, you won't be having anything to say. So you have to be constructive, you have to be well informed, and you have to advocate for your own self and for your own future. Thank you.
Okay, so the time is up. I want to say thank you for all of your, opinions and everything we've talked about. I believe that as students, we have a say, and we also need to be involved in matters like budgeting and finances. So yeah, thank you guys for everything you've said, and if there's anyone who wants to add something before we finish, you're free. Okay, you're free to say something.
Okay, so I think the government should provide the public with education, like public awareness, so that we may know the importance of budgeting. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. What's your name again?
Jessica.
Okay, thank you, Jessica. So yeah, the
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I was passing through the groups, and I could hear some very interesting and fruitful deliberations. And this is just to the PDF team, and to BTG, and to Mtoto News. These children want to be heard. And they don't want it just to be here, coming here and talking, and this is ending here. They want something to be done about it. And they're telling us that they are able to even be part of the implementers, to be part of the implementers for this particular conversation that we are having. That is the budgeting process for a sustainable future. I'd like to in the different group representatives to the stage, the group representatives to the stage, group representatives. I'd like to usher in the group representatives to the stage from the three groups here. I can see 3 of them. Paka stage iko na maji, unakunywa maji, unaweza beba. Kelvin from Toto News. Thank you. So the students, and they've had discussions around what they think are some of the budgeting items that we need to focus on as a people and as the government. What does the government need to focus on when it comes to children? And I would like to hear from them. First mentioning, what are some of these issues that you think that we should focus on? What are some of the solutions that you and your team members think around these areas?
So I'm Naomi Kasenga from Zero Beijing. Some of the issues that we have raised is education, healthcare, transport, and advanced technology, security, housing, and agriculture, and rural development. Yeah.
Thank you. The second group, we have a group here.
Good morning. Good morning. Once again, my name is David Moti. In our group, we had a fruitful discussion. We discussed a lot. We came to conclusion, and we have multiple points to make everyone aware of. Sorry. We talked about accountability part of it. In everything someone does, there should be the aftermath result. So at the end of it all, you should account for everything that has been done. So the basic point is, after the money has been given out, after the budget has been made, at the end of it all, the government has to step up and account for it. We also discussed about students being involved in finance, because there is no way we are here. We have brilliant minds, we can think. It's not that we are limited to thinking, but then we are not involved in what concerns us. So we have to be involved in everything they do. They get our opinion, and maybe even better, we might give better opinions than what they think is right. Maybe our opinions might be better and they can consider them. Thank you.
Thank you so much to that group. The other group, third group.
In addition, we discussed about public awareness. So you may find that some people are not educated about the budgeting. So the government should provide the people with education. Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. So my name is Keith. And our points. So we start with corruption. As you all know, this is the bottom of the entire problem. So things such as delays in the disbursement of funds. So take a case scenario. At independence, the then government promised to get rid of three things. That is poverty, ignorance, and diseases. However, as we progress the years, they have added two other ones. That's impunity and corruption. So basically, the problem is not getting these funds to utilize in the education sector. It's the way they are used. Someone just decides to take them away and use them for their own benefit. Furthermore, to make things worse, the people in power who do this are protected. That is impunity. They cannot be touched because of their high positions in government. Next, allocation of resources. So when resources as compared the need the resources more. So the of equity is not being applied. They are paying equality, which does not favor some of these groups. Thank you.
My name is Congestina, and in addition of what he has talked, we have inadequate supply of pads. See, girls, hatuna pads, tuna lack, so hatuna fine. So hapo tunaafektiwa, others sisi hatuwezi afford pads, tunatumia old clothes kudu tusi, alafu tukienda shule unapata inapita kwa uniform, so kuna wengine wanakuchekelea kama vizuri kwa class. So hapo kuna shida na hiyo kwa pads, whereby our parents can't be able to afford. Tunatumia mattress pia, so we feel we are not safe in fact, and we need personal
hygiene as a girl so that we hata affect you in a diseases. Thank you.
Saying as you're talking about health, let us also look at personal hygiene, especially for the girls. I know we have stakeholders here who are in the SRHR sector, and this is something that you need to push for. This is something that is coming from a child. It is something they are facing on a daily. To conclude, we had the solutions. They're finishing up talking about the solutions to some of these issues that we've had them talk about, starting from here.
So my name is Jerome Pio, based at Boys Center. So as you heard, our group talked about some matters like education, healthcare, transport, advanced technology, security, housing, agriculture, and rural development. Starting with education, the group mostly talk about facilities in schools. Most likely, let's say, computers in schools. Some schools in the other rural areas do not have access to computers and information and all that. You go back to healthcare, provision of medicine. Maybe you might go to a place where, okay, let's give this scenario. A person in the rural area gets cancer. Where is he has to go? Does he has to go to Kenyatta University? And then you find the heightened of the prices towards to deal with that, let's say chemotherapy and all that. But then let's say the government should provide like, okay, let's say they say that if you're from this place, they look at how much you earn, and then they say you can decrease the amount you pay for, let's say, chemotherapy and all that. When to transport, they said that mostly our friend at the start of the discussion, our friend Vincent said about mostly centralizing the urbanization in a place. And right now, our group discussed about bringing those places in the rural areas, roads and all that. And also we discussed about how much these, let's say, physical features disturb others from getting to schools. We look at people who live near rivers, people who, let's say, live in lake areas. How can we get them to school safely? Let's say we can build a bridge or provide boats, those who live near, let's say, the Lake Victoria region and all that. We talked about security. Let's combine advanced technology and security, the use of AI. Countries like America, Germany, and those countries in Europe use AI towards accessing, let's say, biometrics and all that. Our country should also put that in the budget and all that. We looked at housing. Most of these people, let's take a look here in Nairobi. We have Kibra. Kibra is filled with slums, places where the housing is very discouraged and very badly placed. And then our government does not do anything about it. They said maybe they will give out affordable housing, but we're not seeing that being implemented. And that affordable housing, they're paying for it at a very high cost, which they cannot themselves afford. So like the budget, people who do the budget to please look into that. They talked about agriculture. We need advanced technology in that. Mostly, let's give an example. Look at the president wanting to vaccinate the animals and all that. Mostly, yes, we might say people are being hostile towards it, but let him put himself in the shoes of someone who own hundreds of cows, and then they want me to vaccinate all of them. What if they all die at once? That's my whole source of living. I mean, they don't die because of that vaccine, the effects of it. So I'll say they need to adequately give awareness to those people and also look at different ways in which they can give out help there. I think that's all we discussed.
Thank you. As we conclude, I think there's the other group. Finishing up, yes. I can see my timekeeper is really on my neck, and we're supposed to be finishing, but she has just 2 things to say, and then we'll conclude.
Solution of discrimination where we need equality is wanafaa kutreat kila mtu equal, ndo to avoid hiyo argument hiyo ya kama ni resources zina distributiwa kwa all schools wa distribute equal. Na next pad wanafaa kusupply pads so that tunafaa kusoma fine, tukue comfortable and we have good hygiene so it's to affect kwa education yetu. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the children. The things they are saying are, our voices are not heard. They're emphasizing on that. Our voices are not heard. things are being imposed on us. They don't want that. You can hear them talk, and they have brilliant points. They want to be at the table. They want to be with us as we are discussing these issues. They want to be here with us. They're also talking about always coming to them to collect. But when it comes to us working for them, we are failing on that. The children want us to work for them as much as we are coming to them to collect and to hear from them. Let us implement this. Let us work on this. They're also talking about, we say every day that we're living in a digital world. We're living in a digital world, and these children, we call them digital natives. They were born in the age of computers. Let me say that. In the age of the digital world. Why say that and then not have this as part of the implementation of the programs that you're running, as part of the conversation that we are having with them? And lastly, they're talking about awareness. Some people do not understand some of these issues. That is why we have a lot of ignorance around in the public and amongst the children. So thank you so much to the PDF team. Thank you so much to the PFM Village for inviting children. Thank you so much to BTG Budget Talk Global. And also thank you so much to Mtoto News for ensuring that children's voices are heard in the budgeting process. And this process shouldn't end here. And I know our MC will emphasize on this. And also the organizations here and the stakeholders here will emphasize on this. Let's go to these schools. Let us go to these children. Let us hear, even as you're working around the budget, as we are sitting with different people, talking about the budget. We are going to Naivasha, we are going to Mombasa, we are going to different places. Let us include these children. Let us include children's voices in the budgeting process for a sustainable future. And I also love to see that after this, you can also see any representative from Mtoto News. We have a training program called Sauti Zetu Digital Training that focuses on ensuring that the child is empowered. The capacity of the child is empowered on different issues like public speaking, advocacy, and even content creation, because we live in a digital world. Thank you so much for having these children here, our MC. Asanteni sana, and we're looking forward to continuing this conversation. Makofi watoto iko wapi?
Thank you, my brother Atulo. Atulo, thank you so much for that good work, and thank you so much for the panelists. Let's appreciate them. Usimame pale tupigwe picha. Let's all stand hapo chini tupigwe picha. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, we are moving into the next session, and we are having Thank you so much. Let me invite Mr. Isaac Kino for brief announcements, and then we proceed to the next panel. Let's appreciate Kino. Let's appreciate Kino.
Hi, good morning. My address is to students directly. Nitatumia Kiswahili. Students, wangapi wamefurahia hiyo mazungumzo iko hapa PFM Village? Tumefurahia? Wonderful. So mambo ni mbili, lakini siyo mbili ingine, hapa ni mbili. Ya kwanza, if kama unataka kukaa hapa, ukae hapa. Kama ni kutoka maybe kwenda msalani, uweze kurudi. If kama una feel okay, hapo umetosheka, uende ni sisi ni sasa village. Sawa sawa? We have an agreement? Yes, so you either stay here at the PFM village or ni sisi ni sasa village. Juu mkienda kuroita ni mimi nitakuwa naletewa shida. That's okay, students? Asante.
Thank you Mr. Kinwa. Tumpigeni makofi. Sasa hawa wanafunzi wamesema kwamba hawawezi toka hapa, si ndio? Nyinyi mnasikiza hii conversation, si ndio? Mambo ya pesa, au sio? So that's great. Our next panel will be talking about health reforms, financing and service delivery. Our topic will be on financing health reforms in Kenya, bridging the gap between policy and practice. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very tight discussion, because you know issues of health and finances are inseparable, and we need to finance our health system so that we can have proper services when we visit our hospitals and everything. At this point, let me introduce the panel moderator for this session, Mr. Nelson Maina. Mr. Nelson Maina, tumpigeni makofi Nelson Maina. Mr. Nelson Maina is the coordinator at the NEC Budget Hub. That is Nairobi, Eastern and Central. Karibu Mr. Maina. Let's get the presence of Alexander Rithi. Alexander Rithi, let's appreciate Mr. Alexander. Mr. Alexander is the head of programs at TISA. Karibu sana, my brother. Also we have Valentine Mweni. Valentine Mweni. Aha, tumpigeni makofi Miss Valentine. She is the policy research and budgeting officer with the Haki Jamii. Let's appreciate Valentine once again. And then we have Rina Atuma. Rina Atuma, tumpigeni makofi Rina. Rina is the activity manager with the Population Reference Bureau, PRB. Asante sana Rina. And then we'll also have my good friend and policy and advocacy lead at Wike organization, Nelly Chepkemoi. Tumpigeni makofi Nelly. Asante Nelly. And then we'll also have Joyce Mugure. Wapi Joyce? Let's appreciate Joyce. Appreciate Joyce. Joyce is the disability inclusion trainer and advocate with UBPK. Umesikia hiyo? Asante sana. And if umechoshwa na juu hapa, you are free to join the upper house. Tumekubaliana kwamba ni Senate na hii ni National Assembly. So at this point I'd like to take it back to Mr. my brother hapa Nelson Maina, and we are starting at 10:40. We're going to have a 1 hour discussion. My brother at 11:40 najua tutakuwa tumeexhaust hii conversation, si ndio? Thank you so much. Take over.
Thank you, moderator. My name is Nelson Maina, and Bwana MC, I would request uambie, unaona wale huko nyuma huko Senate wakuje hii hema.
Wale ambao mmeketi kule nyuma, tujiunge na the National Assembly. Imesemekana kwamba county oversight imekataa. Sasa watu wakae hapo oversight national government.
Thank you. Na Bwana MC, chukua mic. Utanisaidia kidogo.
Okay.
This will be very quick. So participants, you're going to help us in this. So the question today will be more about wamesikia shisha shoshu.
Yes.
And my question to the participants.
Let's join this side.
Yeah. So the question to the participants is, if you have an opportunity to meet the shame, what would be the one thing you would want fixed? So MC, yes. Patia mtu asema what would be the one thing? One thing, now he explain, just be very clear what you would want SHA to fix. If you have an opportunity today to meet the SHA team, the CEO, one thing. Now he explain, usituambie, my experience was like this. Akikuuliza, what is the one thing you want fixed in SHA? Thanks.
I would want them to fix everything in SHA. Everything.
I want the team to include the assistive devices as part of the healthcare services in SHA.
Great. Assistive devices. Yeah, be clear.
Clear the pending dates as soon as possible, please.
Thank you. Pending dates.
Standby system ikuwe responsive immediately. Tusikuwe na downtime.
Downtime, then.
Mtu wa mwisho anataka SHA ikuwe fixed.
I would like the UPI for the students to be fixed.
The what?
The UPI.
Okay.
UPI for the students should be fixed immediately.
Regina, I would like to see SHA working for two things. One, the private sector is treated differently from the public servants or the public sector.
introduce themselves. And then the question also to them, just one, to do in SHA before we come to the questions of the day. But your introduction, what you do, and what is that one thing you'd want fixed in SHA also. Thanks. We will start from there.
Thank you so much. Good morning. My name is Joyce Mugure. I work with United Disabled Persons of Kenya, commonly known as UDPK. I am a programs officer and passionate about disability inclusion. What I want fixed in SHA, I think for me it's awareness, because there's a lot of people do not know what SHA is about. What does it say? What does it do? How do we access it? How does it support me as a person? For instance, you could see so many people have registered on it, but not so many people are contributing to it. Because if I'm not aware of what SHA does, then how do I contribute to something that I don't know? No one was involved when SHA was, did we do a public participation, and how many people participated in developed or formed, right? Yeah.
Good morning all. My name is Nelly Chepkemoi Langat. I am the Policy and Advocacy Manager at Wike Organization. It is a youth-led organization that we